And I read, write, and roller skate in Los Angeles. Welcome to this writer's life where we peek into process. This episode is called Your Writer's Life. So in the show notes, you'll find a link to a PDF called My Writer's Life, and you can print that out and you can fill it out, and it will be kind of like a journal or log, a record for you because you are a writer. And so this is a resource for you to record your life as a writer, to explore it and to think about it and reflect on it. So the first thing for you to think about or to fill in is, what are your influences and inspirations? What kinds of books do you like, and movies and music? What's the stuff that you're into? Those are your influences. Those are the things that inspire you for your own creations. What kinds of stories do you like to read? Do you like scary stories, or mysteries, or adventures, or contemporary realistic stuff? Do you like sci-fi or fantasy? Do you like anime or graphic novels? These are the things that you're into and maybe will influence what you also want to create. The next part for you to think about or fill in is, what are your strengths as a writer? I know that you have them. Is there something that comes easily or naturally to you? Is it dialogue? Is it action? Is it that you are really committed and disciplined and you sit down and write? Are you good at having ideas? Are you good at coming up with first lines? What is your strength? One of my strengths as a writer, I think, is my persistence. So even when something feels really challenging or uncertain or unknown, I typically, eventually anyway, will do it. And I'll persist in my writing no matter how uncertain it is or what the outcome might be or how much it feels difficult. So persistence is one kind of strength. Another strength that I think that I have as a writer is my ability to put the emotion of the character on the page. That's something that comes fairly naturally to me, and I wonder what comes naturally to you. The next part of this journal you can fill out is, what are your challenges as a writer? So just as we have strengths, we all also have stuff to work on, right? That doesn't come as naturally to us. And by identifying it and reflecting on it, what we can do is we can nurture that, right? We can work on it and address it. It's not a problem that we have challenges. It's just something to kind of pay attention to. One of my challenges as a writer sometimes is believing in my own work. I kind of worry, will this have an impact, or will anything come of this? That is something that I need to nurture and work on. And that's the point of looking at our challenges, right? That we can then address those and overcome them. Another challenge for me as a writer historically has been with plot. Plot just didn't come as naturally to me as other things like character and emotion. And so that's something that I've taken the time to study and research, so that over time, I hope that I have gotten better with plot and those beats of the story. So what is a challenge that you have, and how might you address that challenge? The next part for you to think about or to write in this document called My Writer's Life is your milestones. I think it's really key to mark your milestones. They might be big, they might be really small. They might be things that other people can see, and they might be things that nobody can see but you. And they're internal things that are private, but they're just as important. So your milestones are your accomplishments, and you can celebrate those. You can reward yourself for those, or you can just notice them, and that'll make you feel good and keep going as a writer. You might look at the last week or month or year of your writer's life and see, what did I accomplish, and what can I kind of feel good about and give myself credit for? So if I look at the last year of my writer's life, I finished a novel, and I was really excited about that. I've also started another story that I'm having a lot of excitement about. I took a couple of classes so that I could learn and develop as well. So those are all milestones, and it's important for you to mark those. The next part of this journal for you to fill out is, what is your support? So do you have somebody in your life who supports you as a writer? It could be a teacher. It could be a friend who likes to read or write. It could be a parent or relative. So there's somebody in my life who I can go to when I'm feeling kind of down or unsure about my writing, and they typically cheer me up and help keep me going, and they see things in myself that I don't necessarily see. Is there somebody like that for you? Why don't you put their name down on this when you fill this out for yourself? Another really important thing to think about in your writer's life is, what are your dreams? So that's the next part to fill out. Having dreams and recording them helps you accomplish those things and work toward them, right? So what are your dreams? Is your dream to finish your first story? Is it to finish your second story? Is it to have an idea for a story? Is it to write a poem? Is it to someday join the newspaper at your high school? Is it to be a professional writer someday? What is one of your dreams, or what are two of your dreams? Write those down. For me, my dream is to have more of my stories in the world, and that's something that I think about and record so that it can keep me going. The last part of this is, what are your next steps? So I imagine you might have a to-do list around your writing, right? So write that down. What is the next thing on your agenda to do as a writer? For me, it's to write the next scene of my novel, and then the next scene after that. But by writing it down, then I can check it off at some point, and I also can use that as a guide, like, okay, this is what I should do next. Do you need to write for 15 minutes? Do you need to brainstorm something, or write in your notebook, or just think about a story? What is your next step in your writer's life? So again, you can go to the show notes and you can download the PDF so that you can fill out this journal for yourself and reflect on it, develop as a writer, acknowledge that you're a writer, and go on your path further. Thank you for spending this time with me here on This Writer's Life. I hope that you'll leave a comment or question and subscribe for future episodes.
Hi everyone, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Liz.
And we're Threadwinners.
And what we do is we work together as a collaborative crochet team, and we make large-scale crochet sculptures, fiber art, as well as small plushies and art installations. Basically any kind of art that you can imagine with yarn. That's what we do.
So today our good friend Danielle asked us to talk a little bit about our creative process and how we get our art out into the world. One piece of advice that I can offer is you want to do a little bit of minor planning when you first start your project. So what Liz and I do is we'll generally start with a concept, draw a little sketch out, and then when we're happy with the idea of it, we just sort of go to town, and we allow a lot of room for mistakes and errors to happen, and to just allow the process to grow naturally so that we never feel too confined or too constrained with what we're doing. And generally we're always happy with the end result.
Yeah, and my piece of advice that I have is you're gonna just make a lot of stuff that you might not be happy with or you might not like as your final product, but that's completely okay because that's part of the process. And sometimes making something that you consider bad can kind of get your creative juices flowing. So, you know, a lot of times we'll be working on a project and we'll make something, or, you know, I'll make something and it doesn't look exactly the way as I was picturing it in my mind, but that's okay because I can learn from how I made that piece and adjust it for the next piece. So you kind of just keep rewriting, redrafting, re-editing, whatever you're working on, and that can really help you open up your creativity and things like that.
So thanks for letting us talk about our process.
Thank you.